Well, hello everyone, it's Pete here. Now, as predicted in the build guide of this truck, I did indeed break the front bumper of this. I was on about the second test drive. So I've done the modification to put this Lunchbox bumper on. It's the same as I've done with the Konghead, but I thought it was worth doing a different video because I've done it in a slightly different way and you don't need to buy a Tamiya hop-up to do it. So if we just have a look underneath. The basic issue if you do this mod is you need to find a way of stopping this U-shaped shaft from coming out, and I'll come on to what I've done there, but I'll just show you what I did on the Konghead. So in place of the U-shaped shaft, I've got this aluminium support bridge, and it comes with these stainless steel shafts and E-clips to hold it all on, and this works brilliantly, but obviously you do have to buy this, and I think it's about 10 quid. Okay, so let's go back through the mists of time to when I was doing this mod. Okay, I'll just show you what's happened here. So the screw that goes through the spring and holds the bumper on has snapped, and the end of the screw is still stuck in the bumper mount. I've had the same problem with my previous GF-01 and also the Konghead, and it's either the screw that snaps there or that mount actually breaks. I think the problem is that it's okay with a forward hit like that, but it's just when it's sort of rolling over and that gets bent up and down, it's sort of too much strain on the screw and on the mount. So I'm going to do the same thing I've done with my Konghead, which is to use this Lunchbox bumper, and to fit it you need this spare part from the kit, which is C19. So just get this one off. You can see, but the screw on the other side is bent quite a bit, so that wasn't far off snapping either. So we're going to mount the bumper on the underside of that. Just need to cut away part of these ribs here so that that can lie flush. Okay, so we need to put a hole through there and there. The standard hole on the bumper there at the front is too far forward, so I'm going to cut away a bit of that rib and put a hole through there. So I'll put the extra hole in there, and I've got 3 corresponding holes, so that can attach to that. Now this is going to be attached with screws and a nut on the top. And one issue is that I'm just going to squash that together. So what I want to do is put something to bridge the gap there so the screw isn't squashing that together. I'm trying to use bits that are spare in the kit, so there's this bit spare. So what I'm thinking is if I can cut these tubes off the side, just have a little short length of tube and that can go in the gap. Okay, so I don't think the middle one needs one because it's supported by these 2 ribs here. I'm not going to do this up properly yet because I know it's easier to get this bit onto the truck without the bumper being attached to it. But I'm just doing this for now so I can see how much of the ends of this bit that I need to trim off just to make it look neater. So now one problem we've got to get over is that on the original bumper, this U-shaped shaft here that holds the lower arms on is held in with this piece here. And with our replacement bumper, that's not the case, so that could still come out. So one solution could be to use screw pins like on the back suspension if you've got some of those. The only disadvantage I can think of is that if the front wheel is getting hit by a solid object, having the piece across there is sort of strength, so it's not putting so much strain on the chassis, because you know you could possibly break that bit away from the chassis. Another solution is to use the Tamiya hop-up, the 54695 aluminium support bridge, and this is what I did with my Konghead. Trouble is at the moment spare parts are pretty hard to come by everywhere in the world, so what I'm going to do is something different just to hold this in place. Okay, I've got this spare rod end. This wouldn't have been spare if I'd used the standard springs on the kit, but basically need a rod end like that. The plan is take this out of here and thread this on. So that's on there then, and then I'm going to put a screw through the top of here, and that will then be attached on the bottom of there. So I was taking the rod end off there just to check the fit, and this is a 20mm long M3 screw. I haven't got anything slightly shorter, could do with like a 15, so I was going to put a bit of that tube in there just to make up the space. Okay, so let's put that little spacer on there, so there's just about enough thread poking through there to attach to that. Okay, let's put this back in here. So I need to trim a tiny bit off of this rod end here just to make that fit better. Okay, and then this just attaches with the same self-tapping screws that the original bumper went on with. Okay, so that's securely on there, and that is stopping the U-shaped shaft from coming out. So I just need to attach the bumper to this. Just put washers and nylock nuts on the back. Probably the ideal screw size is a 15mm, but say these 20mm are all I've got. That is pretty sturdy, so let's get the body back on. Okay, so this is a very well tested mod. I had this on the original Konghead and the new Konghead, and beaten them around quite extensively, and this hasn't broken. So yeah, I have tested it on this, and so far so good. So it's probably one of the only weak parts of this kit. Anyway, I hope somebody finds that useful. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you next time.